Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori. If you're new here, welcome to a new part of my home. I'm going to have a little chit chat with you tonight, and I'm going to go over some things that I have been prepping, stocking up on over the last month or so. It's a short and small list, but they are items that you can get from the grocery store that can help you this cold and flu season. I thought this would be a good video to bring you, considering Big Pharma is toxic poison, and I don't want any of you to be a sucker for what they are putting out there. In my mind, they are all money hungry jerks, and I just don't think any of you need a lot of those over-the-counter medications when it comes to cold and flu season. Of course, there are medical interventions that are necessary. There are people out there that need certain medications, but I am just talking about your regular old cold, flu, or any lab-grown sicknesses that you may encounter this season. That was quite the intro, but hi, hello, my name is Tori. I am a wife, mother to 3, and I teach you to be prepared on a budget. I really hope you consider subscribing. We are growing on the channel, and I am so excited to take you along this journey of preparedness with you. It is a journey. I myself am on this journey. I have not always been this way. I think I'm going to talk about that in an upcoming video. I'm doing a coffee chit chat with some controversial issues sprinkled in there, as well as some things about me here and there. I hope you are excited for today's video, and let's get right into it. Okay, welcome to a new setting. Let me know what you think about all of this in the background. I'm a sucker for mountains, hence why we live in Colorado, and I thought this would be a nice background while I sit here and chat with you. The kids are asleep, and I have some clarity in my mind to talk about some things that I got at Kroger and Natural Grocers this month to help my family with all of the sickness that we may encounter. Full disclosure, I am a stay-at-home mom. We often stay at home. If we are going out, we are often going outside in the wintertime as well. We typically aren't really staying indoors with a bunch of kids. You know, we have our activities that we go to here and there, but we are pretty safe when it comes to that. So first thing on the list, and I actually busted into one of these packs already. I don't grow garlic in my garden. I just don't feel like there's enough room for it. I know some gardeners are going to find that silly, but I have other fish to fry when it comes to my garden, and I find the Simple Truth organic garlic is a good option. I found this for 85 cents. There was a glitch in the system, and I picked up 3 packs of these. You have to be careful with garlic, even if it's organic. Just the way it's farmed can get really iffy. There's a lot of mold issues, but I've never had an issue with this garlic, and I got 3 packs, like I said, but I busted into one because one of my kids is just battling a cold, and the first thing I do when there's a sign of cold is detox. I try and detox the body, and that may go against what some people do, but this is my family, you have to remember, and this is what has worked for us. So that's why I like sharing it with you. I was an exhausted new mom to 1 who always got sick, and we did everything that the doctors told us to do. We stayed the track, we did everything recommended, and we found that that child was the most sick out of any of them, and I blame it on what was recommended, to be honest with you. I can sit here and tell you that. I have enough confidence to tell you that, but there were other reasons. I was a new mom, and I wasn't sure what I was dealing with, so that also contributed to a lot of the illnesses that he got. So I actually started doing this with my daughter years ago, and it has been really helpful. I take garlic, I slice it super thin, and then all I do is wrap it in some sort of gauze and then wrap it around their feet. You never want raw garlic to touch the skin. It can form blisters, but slowly but surely that garlic will penetrate the pores of the feet and start to detoxify. It brings out those toxins, and I like to do that for 2 nights in a row when they're sleeping. Of course, they're going to smell like garlic, so I suggest maybe putting some socks over it, and if you need those socks for a later use, you can use some white vinegar to get the smell out, but we do that. So it's stinky, but it works. It gets those toxins out, and it gets my child or myself to start getting into some fluids and some other healing aids for that deep-rooted issue. So that's a good one. If you don't like garlic, maybe you're allergic to it, maybe you just truly don't like the smell, then I would suggest getting onions, and I got those too. I picked up red onions because they were on sale, and I have used every single kind. Red onions will stain, you have to remember that. So I don't mind putting that directly on the skin. That won't leave a blister and it won't irritate, and then I wrap it and then I put a sock over top of it, and generally purple will stain a white sock, but other than that, there's not really an issue. And again, that draws out those toxins. If you're not comfortable with a foot detoxification, you can cook with these, and it will slowly but surely really help get that sickness out of the body. It's not going to be a overnight fix, but I promise you it will help. And then on the subject of detoxification, I did want to mention detox baths. I've done that before. It definitely varies when it comes to who in your family is sick. So if it is me, my detox bath looks a lot different than what I'm doing for my 3-year-old daughter. So my 3-year-old daughter would do some Epsom salt, make sure there's good magnesium in there. We would do some Aztec healing clay. We do a little bit of dried eucalyptus, some baking soda, and we just sit in there and steam up. We read a book. We spend a lot of time in that water getting those toxins out. All right, next on my list is going to be local honey. I talk about it all the time. I have seen it all over social media lately. People are like fermenting garlic and honey, so you could totally do that if you want, but some people are spreading misinformation that it's toxic if you do it a certain way, and I find that that misinformation leads to just like huge anxiety around herbal medicine, and that's not how we should go about it. I definitely think you should do some research. I will link my favorite books in the description box below, and that could ease some of your anxiety. So I'm not going to speak on that because that's like a hot button issue right now, but honey, just a spoonful of it, and whatever you're eating or drinking that day goes a long way, and my kids just like honey sticks. So luckily that local honey shop just gives out honey sticks, which is super kind for the kids, and they don't add any artificial dyes or anything like that to the honey sticks. Growing up, we would go to an old country store and there was a variety of colors of those honey sticks, and oftentimes they were manufactured very far away and there were a lot of additives put into those. So they were fun to eat as a child, but unfortunately not the best for you and not the best for your children. Local honey is a big one. It's one of those ones that stores indefinitely, and it's also an expensive one. So this is out of my budget prepping series, but it goes a long way. It's worth the money, especially if you can get it local. Next on my list, the tea series, we shall call it. Tea is safe to give to your children. I would not suggest giving your children caffeinated beverages, but I'm not their mom or parent, so you do you. But these are going to be decaf teas for your kids. So I do turmeric root, and this is great, anti-inflammatory. Of course, it's not going to focus. I got to get out. There we go. I'm still working with this camera. Anyways, turmeric root is amazing. I would not suggest just taking a spoonful of this, but maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon in a good tea bag. The ones I use are linked on Amazon, and they're just bleach free and really good for you, and you can actually steep them in hot water without getting any toxins into your body. But anyways, you put like 1/8 of it into your tea and you blend it with whatever you're doing. So I like to blend it with some thyme leaf. That's a good one. And all of these large packs are from natural grocers. Oftentimes I'm growing them, but I find that this is much cheaper. And herb gardens are fine, but I don't focus a lot on them. I focus on my fruits and veggies. So that's why I didn't grow any this year. But anyways, thyme leaf is a good one. It really calms the body, especially when you are in that cold and flu-like state. I feel like you need to rest, but it's hard. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and when I get sick, you kind of just have to power through. And unfortunately, a lot of us out here don't really have the help that we need to rest. So oftentimes I'm sipping on tea throughout the day, just trying to get by. Moving your body is crucial in just any scenario, but when it comes to being sick, you really do want to take those days to rest. So if you have time in your day, maybe not go to the park like I just did. Maybe just sit down and read books that day or make a craft. Taking it easy is key when it comes to healing your body, but I want you to know that I understand that's not always possible. Next up on my list is going to be nettle leaf tea, and I get the organic variety. I always try and get organic tea blends because it's better for you, honestly. If you're new here, I talk about that a lot, and And I don't want to do a deep dive into organic versus non-organic, but if you want to deep dive in there, let me know in the comments and we will talk about that in one of my upcoming beverage chats. We're not sure if we're doing coffee or an adult beverage yet, but we'll figure it out along the way. Let me know if you want to know why unorganic is bad for you. But yes, tea blends. There are so many of them out there and so many claim to do this, and this, but really you have to know your body and you have to be intuitive to that. I have not always been like that. It's taken me a very long time to figure out what I put into my body and the outcome. And I feel like a lot of us can relate to that. Honestly, if you are putting crap in your body, you're probably going to feel like crap. And I stick to this. If you're putting crap in your children's body, they're probably going to act and feel like crap. I hear it all the time that, well, if you're fed, you're fed. And I'm not referring to breastfeeding or anything like that, but I hear it all the time. You know, my kid loves Kraft macaroni and cheese and they're acting out of control at school, or they're doing this, and this. Honestly, there could be a variety of factors, but always look into what you're feeding your children or how they're getting their food. I get budget is a budget, but there is a way to be intentional with what you put into your children's body. I'm not preaching. Again, I'm not their parent, but I have found a world of difference when it comes to what I'm cooking for my family and how they're behaving and how they're feeling afterwards. It has just been a complete 180 for my son specifically. He is a high energy 5-year-old boy. And I have found that if I am feeding him those things ticketed to children in the grocery stores, then we're really not thriving. We are actually moving into a more ancestral diet for our family. And I have found within the last, couple of months that it has truly been helping. I probably say it in every video at this point, but we're 80-20. Of course, my husband loves his sweets. If you are on the other channel, which is linked in the description box, you probably know that I'm more of a savory girl, but I'm not perfect either. I love my French fries and I love my pizzas, but there are ways to eat these things in a healthy, conscious way. And I feel like we can model that for our children and they may pick up on some of the behaviors. They're not going to be perfect. They're not going to make perfect choices, of course, but I feel like it could be really helpful for us to start looking into ingredients. And the best thing about this is that is happening. I talk to other moms and they're starting to read labels. Again, I'm not perfect. I haven't been doing this my entire life, but reading labels is key, figuring it out. And then on the flip side of that, we really can't do everything to protect our babies. We can try our best. So if you have a slip up, if you find an ingredient that you don't really know the origin of, that is totally okay because we are all learning together. Let me know if you have a connection to that in the comments down below. If you are new here, I used to be a teacher, and whenever I would have the kids raising their hands every other second because something popped in their brain that connected with the conversation, I always did this. So maybe you could give me a chain emoji or something like that. Something simple that lets me know that you're listening. Even a heart would go a long way for some of these videos. All right, and then last on the list is going to be oil of oregano, and we are gonna do a DIY. It's really simple. You're gonna need organic oregano leaves. Fresh is better, but a combination of the two is phenomenal. So I have some up in the fridge. You all know what oregano looks like, and I like to get a big bag of the dried oregano. The fresh and dried both have amazing properties, and them combined is a must for this. You're also going to need a clean jar. I have these cute little jars from a friend here. Thank you, friend. And then I'm going to use avocado oil as my carrier oil. You could use coconut oil if you're using this topically, or if you're actually ingesting it. It really doesn't matter, but avocado oil is my oil of choice when it comes to using carrier oils that I am going to ingest. So with oil of oregano, you just fill it to about halfway here, and then you're going to do some fresh oregano. You are going to take your avocado oil or oil of choice, and you are going to put that over all of your all of your oregano, and you want to cover it just about to the side here, and then you are going to put it in a double boiler for about an hour. So you want that to infuse. You could also do this in the sunlight, but if you don't have access to that, which is very possible, there's a lot of you that don't see sunlight for a long time, move to Colorado. It's ridiculous out here. Politically, it's garbage, but you have the sunlight about 300 days of the year. So yes, after that double boiler, you're going to put it in a cool, dark area area for about 1 to 2 weeks, and then you're good to go. You have an infused oil. If you're using it topically, you can infuse a little bit of that oil into some beeswax and rub it on your ailments. Oil of oregano does not just have one use, but I find if I am feeling a touch of sickness, I put it in a warm beverage in the morning, and I do that for about 5 days until the sickness has run its course. And that, in combination with my tea and my detox baths, have really been helping whenever we have sickness. I am not perfect. I get sick, my kids get sick, and it's just human nature. We are not superhuman. So if you don't get sick, that's great. But if you do, I'm hoping these natural remedies will help you. I did try and keep it short and sweet for you today. Let me know some other topics that you want to talk about in the comments below, and I'm going to catch you for this week. If you are here for all of my videos, you may see some collaborations with brands coming up in the videos, and that happens from time to time, but mainly in the holiday season. So I appreciate you watching those videos. They mean a lot to me. Please stick around because I will be doing some giveaways during the holiday season to thank all of you for sticking around for those videos. If you're new here, again, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. I do have another channel that documents our life and just about anything motherhood. So if you like that kind of thing, definitely give us a subscribe over there. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. I will catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.